Donald Trump is beating up on the press again. I know that's not exactly breaking news, but the context here is fascinating. It involves the CIA and Russia and hacking and Julian Assange and a lot of shifting alliances. And it seems to be that the president-elect has decided that it's his advantage to turn any of these debates against the press. Now, that may be because he is genuinely ticked off and dissatisfied with the way these controversies are being covered. It may be that the press is a very useful foil for the president-elect of the United States. It could be a combination of both. So the situation here is, as you know, in recent weeks, Trump has been very skeptical of the CIA finding on Russian hackers attempting to influence the U.S. election by obtaining and perhaps giving to WikiLeaks those hacked emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign and the DNC. And Trump has said, look, the CIA doesn't always get it right. Look at WMDs and Saddam Hussein and all of that. And then you have the coverage that says, well, you know, it's how unusual it is for an incoming president to be at odds with the intelligence community that he will be running. Enter Julian Assange, who used to be kind of a villain, particularly for conservatives when WikiLeaks first sort of came on the world stage and was leaking a lot of U.S. national security secrets. Well, Fox's Sean Hannity, who had been a big critic of Assange, went to London a few days ago, interviewed the head of WikiLeaks, and talked to him about Russian hacking. He denied it was the Russians, although, you know, obviously Assange's source could have been some kind of middleman. And Assange also was very critical of American press coverage. No shock there. Hannity actually noted in the interview that 6 years ago he had been very critical of Assange, very concerned about the leaking of U.S. national security secrets, but now he says Assange is doing good work. Why? Because he's been involved in hacking, or at least a conduit for the hacking of the Democrats. So, among the first Trump tweets, and we all know that these tweets make a lot of news, was Trump retweeting something that Assange had said. Julian Assange said a 14-year-old could have hacked Podesta, John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. Why was DNC so careless? And then there was this, Assange in that Hannity interview ripping the U.S. media coverage as dishonest. Trump retweets that, adds his own bit of commentary, more dishonest than anyone knows. But then the plot gets even more complicated, because as stories were written, and some of these stories were perfectly straightforward, questioning why Trump appeared to be siding with Julian Assange, who after all is holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy seeking asylum from sexual assault allegations. And Trump himself had said 6 years ago, in a brief exchange with Fox's Brian Kilmeade, that maybe there ought to be a death penalty for these kinds of leaks. So here is Trump's response to this coverage, and some commentary that was very critical, even mocking. The dishonest media likes saying that I am in agreement with Julian Assange. Wrong. I simply state what he states. It is for the people to make up their own minds as to the truth. The media lies to make it look like I am against intelligence when in fact I am a big fan. Well, obviously Trump has every right to punch back. It's been a very effective technique for him. It is perfectly fair for the media to point out whether Trump or Hannity or Sarah Palin, who's now apologized to Assange on her Facebook page for once likening him to a terrorist, are now suddenly enamored of Julian Assange because he's going after people they don't like, namely the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, and all of that. But Trump always has that weapon that he can unleash at any time, dominate the news cycle, blaming the press for the coverage. The only remaining question is, will he continue to use it quite as often once he's living in the White House?